So good morning, and thank you for joining me again this morning. You're all very welcome to your little half hour or so of meditation before you get fully into your day, and hopefully it'll just start you off on a positive note and maybe a relaxed note for your day. So you can choose to either sit or lie for our session this morning. You just, as usual, you want to be comfortable and just make sure that you'll be warm enough. If you're sitting on an armchair or a sofa or anything that maybe is not as firm, just make sure that your back is nice and supported and your hips are nice and supported. And if you come to lying, if there's any discomfort with your lower back when you're lying down, usually if you pop a cushion or two underneath your knees, it helps to resolve that. So get yourself set up and settled wherever and however you'd like to be for the next little while. And if you're sitting, so I'm sitting this morning in sort of a thunderbolt position. I'm just up on a bolster with my, it just takes a little bit of pressure off the knees. So if you're sitting in a meditation position, something like easy cross-legged, thunderbolt, or up against a wall with your back supported, whatever's gonna be most comfortable for you. And just take a moment or two to settle, to allow your body to settle into whatever position you've chosen to sit or lie in. Taking a moment to make any little adjustments that might help to support your comfort. And taking a moment to welcome yourself to the space this morning. So welcoming yourself to a little quiet, to a little ease, to a space that you're offering yourself at the start of your day, for whatever reason you've chosen to show up this morning. And make this space your own. So you're in your own home, so you're in your own space. But by that, what I mean is if at any point what I'm offering or suggesting doesn't resonate with you, feel free to leave something out or to just adapt to yourself. When you find your mind wandering, and it's very, very likely that it will, just invite your awareness and your attention back to your breath. So if I'm not speaking, if I'm not guiding, your breath is your guide. Your breath is your anchor. And I invite you now to meet your breath and greet your breath. So if the eyes are closed, just relaxing the forehead. If you prefer to keep a long, low gaze with your eyes open, that's fine. But again, softening the forehead, soften your jaw, your mouth, your lips, your tongue. Relax the shoulders and allow the shoulders to just drift away from the ears. And allowing your awareness to flow with your breath. Just noticing for now the breath as it comes and goes. No need to change anything, no effort required. Just noticing with curiosity. Gentle awareness. And noticing whatever you notice about the breath. So perhaps notice where your breath is coming into the body this morning. Are you inhaling through your nostrils or your mouth? And it's generally preferable to breathe through the nose if that's possible for you. But if you have a cold or you're congested or for any reason that's not comfortable for you right now, allowing yourself to breathe comfortably through your mouth. Noticing where the breath is leaving. So again, is it leaving through the nostrils or the lips? And in general, again, breath in through the nose and out through the nose will be the most supportive breath for you. but that's only the case if it's comfortable to do so. So breathing in any way that feels comfortable, any way that feels good for your body. And then perhaps noticing the length of the breath. So you might be curious about how deep your breath is right now. And counting, as if you were counting seconds on the inhalation. And again, on the exhalation, will give you a sense of the length of your breath as it's showing up for you right now. You might be reaching a 3 or a 4 or a 5. If you're used to meditating and you drop very quickly into a deep state of quiet and stillness, that might be longer, but for most, somewhere between 3 and 5 will be the typical length of the breath. The normal breath, the more everyday breath. Just check, is the length of the inhalation the same as the length of the exhalation? Is the number the same? And ideally, these breaths will be either the same number, so the length of your inhalation will be the same as the exhalation, or the exhalation might be slightly longer, and that's also a nourishing and supportive breath. If your exhalation is shorter than your inhalation, I just encourage you to slow it down a little bit so that you can exhale more fully. You can completely exhale the air in the lungs. And that gives you maximum space then for your in-breath to return. Notice the movement in the body in response to the breath as it comes and goes. So maybe sensing expansion and lengthening between the chest and the navel on your inhalations. And contractions, softening, not contractions, but contracting, softening, relaxing back inwards towards the center of the body, towards the spine on your exhalations. Notice what's the furthest part in the body that's moving in response to the breath coming and going. So on your inhalations, do you notice an expansion, a movement outwards, a doming of your abdomen, your belly? Probably noticing expansion front, back, and to the sides of your diaphragm, rib cage. Noticing movement outwards and upwards of the chest on the inhalations, and then a resting on the exhalations. And then noticing that on the out breaths, everything that you have sensed into moving, releasing back, softening back towards the earth, softening back towards center as you release the breath. Without any great effort, just allow your breath over time to become a little longer and slower, deeper and fuller. You may notice that your body wants to take these nice long breaths. Your body may welcome the opportunity of slowing down, of resting. These breaths, these nice long deeper breaths, are almost like the sleeping breath. So when you're sleeping, often the breath is longer and fuller. And that's because when we sleep, when we rest, we're more into the parasympathetic nervous system, your relaxation system. When we're active and busy and stressed, or maybe in the autonomic nervous system, your stress response, or your body moving with adrenaline and other energizing hormones. Stress hormones would be cortisol. As you're exhaling with each release, just encouraging the breath to fully release so that you exhale all the way to empty each time. To make space for the in-breath, which is a nourishing breath, energizing breath, the breath that feeds the body. The exhale is your cleansing breath, your purifying, detoxing breath, and the breath that releases. And if we release all the way to empty and let go of the breath that's made its way around the body and no longer has anything to offer us, we make more space for vitality to come in, for nurturance to come in, for the new beginning of each new breath. And if the body held on to the breath after it's circulated around and it's oxygenated all of the cells and it's nourished you and offered you all the vitality that it has to offer, if we held on once that was finished, we'd be taking up space, and there wouldn't be full space for new breath that has something to offer to return. The body is really clever. The breath is really sensible in terms of how it works. It calls in something to nourish you. When then that's done its job, it just lets it go so that there's space for something new to come in the next moment to nourish you again. So perhaps setting an intention, a sankalpa, for your meditation this morning. Apart from the physical benefits of the breath coming in and nourishing the body, what would you like to call in to nourish yourself? What do you need at this time to nourish yourself on mental, physical, emotional, energetic levels? Maybe there's specific things that come to mind, and if not, just setting a general intention that every in-breath will call in all that serves your highest good at this time, all the supports that you need. There might be everything from peace, balance, calm, strength, courage, patience, humor, to maybe motivation or something that just helps to bring you through your day. And set a general intention then that every exhalation will support release, will support a letting go of anything and everything that stands in the way of your highest good at this time. That might be cares, tensions, worries, concerns, and they again may be mental, physical, emotional. Might be attachments to things being a particular way or being a way that we miss at the moment. It might be a little bit of maybe rigidity or stubbornness or inflexibility about how we allow ourselves to adapt and meet the world as it is right now. Anything else that's standing in the way of your highest good, allow the out-breath to release. Because if we hold on to things, if we hold on even just to attachment, when we're holding on to one thing, we're not making space for something new or something helpful to come in. So let the breath almost inspire you, that coming and going, that calling in and letting go. Let that maybe permeate out and ripple out into other ways, other aspects of your being. I'm going to offer you just a gentle breath counting meditation that can help just again with that sense of dropping into a deeper state of release and relaxation. It's very hard for the mind to wander when it has a job to do when you're counting. So that's why things like counting the breath can be helpful, particularly in the early stages when you're familiarizing yourself with meditation. And this is a really simple exercise where we'll count backwards from 7 to 1. We'll count the number in our minds on the inhalation. And on the exhalation, just listen to the sound of the breath as it leaves the body. Listen to the sound of the breath as it releases. So starting at 7 on your inhalation, whenever that comes, and just counting the number 7, ride that breath all the way to the peak. And as you exhale, just listen to the sound of the breath as it leaves. And just exhale normally through the nose if that's possible, mouth if you need to. But listen to that echoey sound, that seashell-like sound. It's almost like a wave as the breath moves its way out of the body, flowing all the way to empty. And on your next inhalation, 6 or whatever number you might be at, and then exhaling in your own time, at your own pace, and just listening. Listen to the sound, listen to the wave, listen to the echo of the breath as it leaves. The number on your inhalation, exhalation, just releasing, listening to the sound of the breath. And in the same way that the breath or when the sea rolls back out, carries away anything that may be on the beach, on the shore, out to sea. Imagine it carrying it out to cleanse it and bring it back at a later time. Just allow that out breath to be cleansing, to be releasing, to carry away anything that's not serving you. Inhaling, counting, and then exhaling, listening. And then perhaps letting the count go and just focusing on the inhalations, on the sensations of the breath coming into the body, the movement in the body in response to the breath, that joyous expansion and lengthening. The body welcomes this nurturance, this vitality, this life-giving breath in. Exhaling again, listening to the sound of the breath as it moves back out again. And allowing your entire body, every muscle in the body to soften with that release, to melt a little more into your chair, into your mat, into your bed, wherever you might be, to relax a little more. Inhaling, sensing into the movement, just flowing with it, noticing when the movement starts and when it ends, finding that pause between the breaths, and then exhaling and listening. And if you can imagine that this is very familiar to your nervous system, this is very familiar to your body, to your mind. It's probably how I imagine how your body experiences your breath when you're asleep. This echoing out of the breath, the sound of the breath leaving the body is one of the only sounds perhaps that your ears, your mind are aware of as you're sleeping. That's why it can be quite soothing and quite grounding. Also soothing and grounding because it has that sort of sound of the sea, almost that echoey sound of waves. And that's very much what we experienced as we were babies in the womb. So listening to the sound of the breath on the exhalation is a really soothing, really nurturing way just to help the body to calm and settle. And if that's not your experience, just be mindful, notice whatever you notice without judgment, be curious about what your experience actually is. And maybe whether it's supportive to you right now or you haven't quite connected with it, it might be something that you bring back in from time to time during your day. Just pausing, counting to 7 and backwards from 7 doesn't really take very long, and it might just be a way to help yourself settle and ground as you move through your day. And just that idea as well of letting go to allow something positive, something helpful, something nurturing to come back in. And although we might not know how to do that, when it comes to things other than the breath, it can be easier to say let go than to actually do it. Whenever the idea comes into your mind that maybe you need to let something go, just close your eyes and focus on letting the breath go on the exhalations and the nurturance, the vitality to enter on your inhalations, so that you're supporting yourself as you move through your day, as you move through your experience in the world right now. So I invite you to set an intention for your day, to set an intention to nourish and nurture yourself in some way as you move through the day, to be kind to yourself, to be gentle with yourself, allowing whatever comes up to come up, and be curious about it, and then letting it go. It can be really important, particularly at the moment when our emotions can be, changed as we go through the day. It might be quite easily triggered at the moment. Experience whatever you're experiencing fully in the moment. Show yourself kindness and compassion for whatever that might be, or gratitude if you suddenly become aware that you're enjoying something or that you're content. Notice that and send yourself and the universe some gratitude for that experience. Have a few breaths and then just let it go. Move on, continuing. Because even with gratitude, even with appreciation, if we get stuck in the moment, we're stuck in the moment, and we want to keep on appreciating the next moment. If we're stuck in a moment of difficulty, of challenge, then we're perhaps preventing ourselves from moving on to something more neutral or maybe a little bit more positive. So experience yourself in the moment as you experience your breath in the moment. And then slowly and little by little let go when you're ready. So don't rush it. Don't, do anything other than honor how you're feeling. And then shake it off after a little while and direct your attention and your focus to something that might support you. And I'd like you to just imagine as well right now, at some point later on in your day, taking a moment to come back and greet your breath again. You won't notice it coming and going unless you stop, you pause, and you tune in. Say hello, have a couple of nice, calm, grounding, easy breaths again, and then continue on whatever your day is offering you. So we'll just invite a few gentle stretches into the body to wake us up. And if you don't want to wake up, if you want to stay just resting a little bit longer, then ignore the next little bit of stretching, or you can stretch and then rest again. But on an inhalation, we'll take our arms out to the side of the body, up towards the ceiling. And then on an exhalation, bringing the palms together, just releasing the hands back towards the center of the chest, as though you're almost helping the breath to release, helping the breath to move back out of the body. Inhale, nice wide, expansive arms, expansive breath here again, calling in all that serves your highest good. Exhaling, slowly releasing anything that's standing in the way of your highest good, anything that's no longer serving you. And then one final nice big exhalation or inhalation, apologies, as we expand and bring the arms towards the ceiling, and calling in this time anything that specifically supports you in the intention that you've set for your day. Exhaling, just releasing the breath, releasing any remaining tension, any need for things to be a particular way. And take the arms out to the side of the body and back up towards the ceiling on an inhalation. And this time interlace your fingers, roll the palms towards the ceiling or wherever is comfortable. Just have a little stretch to the side as you exhale. Notice which side you went. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side, and then inhale back to center. Maybe release the hands alongside the body and just invite an opening in your chest here where the shoulder blades come a little closer together. And then if you're lying, you might bring your knees to your chest and allow the knees to fall out to one side or other. If you're sitting, maybe on an exhale, just taking a little twist with the upper body to look round over a shoulder. Flow it back to center on an inhalation and around to the other side on an exhalation. Center again on an inhalation. Take a moment or two to take a little journey from side to side with the head. So just moving across, gently stretching into the neck and flowing back to center on your next breath. And then out to the other side. Notice how you're flowing out to the side on your inhale and your exhale. And then back to center on the next breath. If you're sitting, gently drop your chin towards your chest. If you're lying, you can allow a little lengthening in the back of the neck, but don't overstretch it. Release forwards on an inhalation. A sigh on your exhale. And then we'll just finish by bringing the shoulders up towards the ears as we inhale. Exhale, sighing out and releasing. Up on the inhale. Exhale, sigh out and release. And then up on the inhalation. Exhale, just sighing and letting go. Continue to stay here and rest if that's your preference, and if that's what you'd like to do for the next little while. If you're ready to end your meditation for this morning, just in your own time, opening your eyes, allowing the light to come in little by little, making any little movements, any little wiggles or stretches, movements in the joints, wiggles in fingers and toes. That would be nice to wake you up. And then in your own time, just bring yourself back into your day, back to your breakfast, your walk, whatever it is that you have planned next. And if you can join me tomorrow, I'd love to see you. And if not, then you're welcome back next week if that suits. And otherwise, thanks so much for joining me. Have a lovely morning. Have a lovely day. I think the sun is coming out. The sky looks blue, so it's trying to get blue. Yep. So hopefully it's nice where you are too. So namaste. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for your practice. Care. Be safe. Be well.